Our first item on the agenda is a presentation on watershed health education, and we have a number of visitors here for this item today. And Carol Murdoch is here, perhaps, and from Water Environment Services, and probably some other people that she will want to introduce. So you're welcome to, if you have other people you want to bring up here now, or later, bring everyone up, I'm presuming. But I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. So I'm Carol Murdoch. I'm the Surface Water Program Manager for WES. And we're here to talk to you today about what we consider to be one of the most important investments we can make in maintaining the natural character and livability of the environment in which we live. And that's about educating youth about the natural world and the role they can play as stewards of the environment. Water Environment Services developed the Watershed Health Education Program to educate youth about protecting our local watersheds. This program makes it possible for North Clackamas School District High School science teachers and their students to get out of the classroom and into the field where they gain hands-on experience collecting environmental data, making resource assessments, restoring streamside habitats, and in effect, studying what determines healthy rivers and streams. The students then share their knowledge with friends, family, and the broader community through presentations, activities, and dissertation. By sharing their experiences and knowledge with the community, these youth can have a long-lasting effect on the viability of our natural landscape here in Clackamas County. And with that, we'd like to show you a short video about the Watershed Health Program.
One of the priorities identified in the Clackamas County Service District Number 1 Watershed Action Plans. The Watershed Action Plans prioritize the work and services that are provided by the Surface Water Management Program, and the Watershed Health Education Program is one of the components of that. Currently, the Watershed Health Education Program includes 4 high schools from the North Clackamas School District: Clackamas High School, Milwaukee High School, Rex Putnam High School, and the Sabin-Schellenberg Center. In the future, we'd like to expand the program to middle schools and elementary schools with the help of the high school students. We've started that this year with the Clackamas Community College Water Education Day, where the students educated hundreds of elementary school kids on what they've been learning in the classroom, things like what a watershed is and what kids even at that level can do to make sure that they're protecting water quality and educating their parents at home on things that impact our local watersheds.
Students also work with Solve and Friends of Trees, and with both of those agencies they were able to go out into the watersheds and they pulled out invasives and they learned to plant trees, and they learned about the riparian zones and what they can do to ensure the continued quality of the water in their watersheds.
You can only teach so much about watersheds in a book, and WES has definitely given us opportunities to get out and use those skills we learn in the classroom.
We work with WES, Water Environment Services, in a number of different ways, and we really believe that working with different agencies, different partner groups, we can get a lot more done than we would on our own.
Particularly WES's partnership with providing school bus transportation and sub-funding is a huge help. That is a huge barrier to having schools come out on our restoration sites, is that they don't have that funding. So having that funding is really, really critical.
This year we piloted a little project on Rock Creek where we were looking at the effectiveness of using high school age students to do bioassessment, professional level bioassessment within watersheds. So using biological indicators to indicate the health of your watershed, which has been limited in the past because of funding at the county, state, and federal level to do that. But we go out with one expert and we teach 100 kids how to do this. and we sample more data than any of these agencies do in an entire year in just a few outings. So we're showing how the young people can really be a part of proper watershed management programs and learn and contribute to the community in the process.
I think these kids are so lucky because they get to go out into the field. They are able to leave their classrooms. WES provides the support so that they're able to have substitute teachers so their own teachers can be with them. They have bus transportation. We provide supplies and equipment so they're able to do water testing, and they get out there and they're learning and touching and feeling and getting to know their environment, and they're learning why it's important that they're learning what they're learning.
Number 2.
My name is Gary Johnson. I coordinate the Watershed Health Education Program, and I would like to introduce our team of educators and some of the students that were able to come today. So if you'd like to stand up the teachers one by one and say your name, what school you represent, and if you would like to come up and say a little bit about what the program means to you, we'd really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Alicia Tallman, and I'm with Sabin Schellberg Center, and I work in our forestry program. And the important thing about WES in our class is that we're primarily focused on forest ecology, and the WES program has allowed us to expand our curriculum and allowing us to connect the forest ecosystems with the watershed ecosystems. And it's really been able to allow us to expand and allow the kids to get out and use new skills and expand their knowledge on different career options as well. So WES has definitely been really helpful, and we've really enjoyed working with them.
Would you like to introduce your students?
Oh, yes. So I have 2 students with me. We have Kevin Anderson and Brad Pfeiffer. Both of them are in our advanced class. So Kevin's been with our program 3 years now, and Brad's been with our program 2 years. Did you guys want to say anything?
Like Alicia said earlier, my name is Kevin Anderson, and I've been in the forestry program as long as I could. I started as a sophomore. I love it. And working with WES has really helped out our forestry program, and it's helped out me a lot in not only learning about the environment and the watersheds and all the things that we can do to help protect them and keep our watersheds clean and our water clean, but WES has also given us a lot of things, such as they gave us boots, they've given us underwater cameras, they also gave us the opportunity to work with Dr. Patrick and get out in the field, and instead of being in the classroom and just reading about what we are doing with bioassessments and things like that, we actually get out and get on-hand in the field experience. And it really gives us a chance to explore different career opportunities in the environmental science and in the environmental science field, and I love WES.
I'll pay him later.
All right, I'm not going to sit down and use that. We got a big group here.
That's great. You just need the other one so the TV can hear you.
Oh, there we go. My name's Rod Schroff.
I'm Angie Schroff. We're both from Clackamas High School. These are a number of our students. I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you, and they have been involved with the program in some cases 3 years, in some cases 2 years. They range from students that started out with this program in a second-year chemistry class all the way up to AP Biology and AP Environmental Science and all some environmental science classes. So
if you just pass the mic down the ways.
I'm Megan Thran. I go to Clackamas High School. I'm a senior.
I'm Colin Nguyen. I'm also a senior at Clackamas High School, and I've been involved in Ms. Schroff's class for 2 years so far.
I'm Jesse DeBoard. I'm a senior also. I've been involved 2 years also. I started with the AP Environmental Science program.
I'm Ryan Gilbert, senior, and I've been involved with this for about 2 years now.
I'm Mackenzie Cochran, and I'm a senior, and I've been involved with this for 2 years, starting with AP Environmental Science.
My name is Rachel Atchison, and I go to Clackamas High School, and I've been involved in this for 3 years, starting with chemistry.
I'm Casey Todemeyer. I'm a senior, and I've been involved for 3 years, starting with chemistry.
All right. Well, again, I'm Rod Schroff. We've been working now for about 3 years, I think, with Wes, and many more years with Solve. And I just want to say, with Wes's input and support in both expertise and financing, it's allowed us to do the kind of education that we know needs to be done. There's always been a huge criticism of academia and the real world, and that's always bothered me because I came from the real world before I got into academia. And I think that the kids are getting real hands-on application experiences of science this way. And at the same time, there's always a criticism that the youth of today are separated from the community in the real world. And this gets them out into the community being incredibly productive citizens and stewards and working with professionals and learning about it. And I think it gives them an experience that we just could not give them otherwise. And it's also fosters conversations within the homes when they go home. I mean, we got a small representative of literally hundreds of kids that have had this same experience. And they go home and they talk about watershed health and they talk about their experiences. And I think from, a taxpayer standpoint and things like that, now these parents, they know where their money is going, and they know that their kids are getting a good education, and and what's going on within the community and watershed health. So I don't think we would want to live without this program anymore.
Go ahead. I was going to ask. So I wanted to ask, for those of you who have been in the program multiple years, I presume that's all of everyone here. Can any of you think of discoveries that you have made that you were surprised by, like species you didn't expect to find that you did, or species that were missing one year that were there before, or temperature shifts, or are there things that you discovered that were that you noticed different from one year to another?
Well, during my 2 years here, we've always done macroinvertebrate sampling at Rock Creek Watershed and the Mount Scott Watershed. And before these classes, I had no idea that all the organisms lived in the stream. So that was really surprising to me, and it was also surprising to see the difference between the two watersheds. So that was really helpful to see our effect on the water.
And do you feel like you have discovered things where the situation has either improved or gotten worse from the year before?
Yeah, definitely. Well, last year, I think it was the Mount Scott Watershed, we looked into that with macroinvertebrate sampling, and this year, was it better than before?
Right, and we saw major differences in with 1 year at Rock Creek also. And the Rock Creek site where we visit is one of the adopted sites where Solve has gone in and started to do restoration work. So this is a beginning of a program that we continue and should continue for many years to see if that restoration work is making a difference in that watershed. And we use macroinvertebrates because they're a great way to look at the health of the stream, because they live there, they're there all year. We can go out and do water testing, we can look at the dissolved oxygen, we can look at the nitrate levels and pH. Those things can change daily, weekly, monthly. But these macroinvertebrates that live in the stream, they're allowing the students to see this is not a snapshot in time, this is the full year. This is the length of time where we see things. So.
Thank you.
Well, I'd just like to say what a wonderful job you've done as students and as educators, drawing a link between the opportunity to go out in the field and why that is beneficial both to the community and to your ability to better utilize or practice concepts of science or environmental science, chemistry. So that's great. What an inspiring presentation.
So it's no secret that our county is a county of rivers. I mean, we have the Sandy, the Molalla, the Tualatin, and the Clackamas, the Willamette, and all the tributaries that, drain into those rivers, as well as the rich ecological diversity that we have in our county. So you are our next generation of biologists and foresters and ecologists, and we need you. We need you in this county because we've got a lot of urbanization pressure, as you've probably noticed when you've gone out and looked at the impacts of stormwater runoff and the impacts of urbanization on our watersheds. We need good knowledge. We need people who care and live in our watersheds to help us understand what those pressures are and what we can be doing to ensure we've got good water quality. So thank you, all of you. I hope that you will all pursue careers in forestry. I'm looking at my forestry person back there, my forestry guys. I hope you all pursue these careers because we really absolutely need this next generation of people who understand the watersheds and the ecological diversity in our county. So thanks for your good work and good job, teachers, and good job, Wes. I'm excited about when we partner with schools to help promote these kinds of programs. I mean, it's really great. Thanks.
Thank you. Over the last few years, actually the last 14, 15 years since I've been involved, I sat on the water board and the Oak Lodge Sanitary District Board. We have 6 watersheds in the Oak Lodge area, Oak Lodge Jennings Lodge area. And I think that the awareness that's been growing, and there's really been a lot more attention towards all the watersheds and the quality, and realize that you don't need to travel very far to find a watershed. I mean, it's in your backyard. It's all around. And I think that people are taking the responsibility of some of those watersheds, which is huge. And all the volunteering is a huge contribution to the health, aesthetics of all the streams and water quality. Water is so important in so many different ways. And this is one way to get some hands-on experience. And, again, the care that you're all giving to the current watersheds is extremely valuable because we just don't have all the resources to get out there on the ground. And your volunteering and the time you apply to that is just a great contribution to our community. I thank you all for that.
Yes, I will neglected to say that, but thank you for all the work that you do. Certainly, as others have said here, we don't have enough boots on the ground to be able to do the monitoring at this level, and the stream health and certainly macroinvertebrate health is such a bellwether and changes year to year, season to season, that having you there to monitor these things, be able to tell when things are improving or deteriorating is critical to being able to respond in appropriate ways with the agencies that respond. So very important. And I would be also excited about it moving into middle school programs and the ability of these students or of high school students to act as instructors, intern people with younger students, because I'm sure you would be able to pass on a lot of the knowledge that you have to younger students, and appropriate methods, those things. So with that, why don't we have all of your people come forward and we'll all stand in here. There's a photographer waiting in the wings to take your picture. Smaller, I think. Why did I go in the back?
Yeah, turn sideways so we don't. All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take another one. Lovely.